guys, it's Gamer Ahmer here. So this morning Sony has released some amazing news regarding the PlayStation Classic that's due to release later this year. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about the PlayStation Classic, which games are going to be on it, what's included in the bundle, and where you can get it. So stay tuned. As you know, Sony is doing extremely well. They've recently released their 500 million console and controller bundle as a limited edition system to go ahead and commemorate 500 million units being sold. And to go ahead and continue that, PlayStation just announced the PlayStation Classic that's due to release on December 3rd, 2018 to go ahead and celebrate the 24th anniversary of the PlayStation console that was released. Now, when this system releases on December 3rd, 2018, you can go ahead and pick it up for $99.99. Now, places have already started pre-ordering this console. I just went to GameStop and I pre-ordered it. You only had to put $25 down out of the 100, and if it's anything like the Nintendo Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic, I would try and get this sooner rather than later because it's unclear exactly how many are going to be released for the holiday season. And it sounds like everyone is going to want one of these. So the console will look like a smaller version of the original PlayStation 1 console. Now this one is my bundle right here. This is the PlayStation DualShock Edition. So the console released in this PlayStation Classic will actually be 45% smaller than this system right here. So it's going to resemble the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic. Now, it won't be released with this iconic controller right here with the DualShock on here. It will actually be released with these classic PlayStation controllers right here without the DualShock capabilities. And there will be 20 games preloaded onto this system. And this system hooks up to any modern day television with the HDMI port that is going to be installed in it. So it is just like the other Nintendo systems. You don't have to worry about hooking it up to any older televisions. It'll fit with any of the modern day televisions. And you just plug it in, the games are already preloaded. Now it will have these same buttons on here, but of course it's not going to do what this system does. It will have everything preloaded into it. You just plug it into your TV and select any of the 20 games that are preloaded. This one is pretty sweet because it comes with 2 controllers, so that means that there's going to be multiplayer games on the system. So the 5 that Sony already announced are Final Fantasy VII, which when you think of the PlayStation, you think of Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy VII was one of the most iconic games for the system. It sold extremely well. And then there will be Jumping Flash. Now many of you guys may have not even heard of that game before. It's a single player platform game. I myself have not played it. There will also be Tekken 3 for the console. Now that is an extremely well-known fighting game. We are up to Tekken 7 now. So I am super excited to go ahead and play Tekken 3 again on the PlayStation when it releases. And go ahead and play that multiplayer fighting game. And there will be Wild Arms, which is another great game for the PlayStation, very iconic. And the last game that Sony has released is R4, Ridge Racer Type 4. So that game is a super fun racing game. It is definitely what I think of when I hear PlayStation. Now, along with the 5 games that have already been released, there's still 15 games that have not been mentioned yet. Now, I could think of a bunch right off the top of my head that I would love to see on this PlayStation Classic that's due to release later this year. Now, I thought it was pretty neat. On the back of this original PlayStation box that I have from when it first released, it has tons of different games on here. So you'll see there is Tekken 3 on the back here, and that was already mentioned to release on the PlayStation Classic. There's also Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. Now I know that they've already been released and upcoming to release on the PlayStation 4. It would be pretty sweet to see these games on the PlayStation, since I feel like these characters and games really shape the console itself. And it would be pretty cool to see Crash Bandicoot Tag Team Racing. That would be a great multiplayer game for the system. It's a lot of fun. I loved playing that game growing up. And then on here you'll even notice that there's Metal Gear Solid. Now that is a very iconic series for the PlayStation. I love the characters, I love the gameplay. That would be pretty awesome to see. Then we have Cool Borders 3 on here. Now those games were also pretty fun growing up. That would be another great multiplayer game. And then we have Tomba. Twisted Metal 3 is on here. That would be a great series to see as well. I love playing those games. I love the destruction with the cars. So that would be a pretty sweet game to play on the PlayStation Classic. Then there are some Gran Turismo, tons of sports games on here, Turbo Prop Racing, Parasite Eve, Medieval, Siphon Filter, and it would be pretty sweet to see some sort of Resident Evil game on the PlayStation Classic, and possibly even Tomb Raider. When I also think of PlayStation, I think of Lara Croft and all the games that shaped all of these newer released games today. That would be a very iconic game for the system. So I'm looking forward to see which other games Sony announces. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos. And go ahead and comment below on which games you think will be on the new PlayStation Classic.